there's a wiener on that monitor, I swear to God, Stu.
What?
No.
Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to Stupid O'Clock, Joe's favorite wiener hour.
Well, this was supposed to kick on, but it didn't.
Well, it started. I heard
It
it.
did try to. I did hear a squeak or two. So.
It started, but it never played. And it's like, well, son of a bitch.
Well,
Hey, Donna.
Hey, Carl.
How y'all doing? Okay. In tonight's news, thousands of bags of Dorito chips have been recalled. Let's see. Thousands of bags of Dorito nacho cheese tortilla chips have been recalled in Pennsylvania for mislabeling. Nacho cheese flavored chips may contain some ingredients from Doritos sweet spicy chili chips that have not been declared on the package and can cause severe or life-threatening allergies or allergic reactions in customers. So, can you imagine you went and got the rather bland chips and you wind up getting, fiery hot Doritos or something like that?
Yeah, really. Or you went and got what you thought was a bag of Doritos, and you got 3 chips in a bag of air, which is, vending machine quality. And it cost you $1.25.
Fortunately, no allergic reactions have been reported as of yet. So. And they go to the site. They tell you the data that's on the bag.
Well, the Jack the Ripper show I was invited to last night went rather well.
Really?
Y'all
figured out who it was?
Well, that was one of the objects of the show. I managed to maintain my skepticism, and I thought I had another 3 weeks to prepare for the show, and it turns out I misread the post telling me the date of the broadcast. I had to wing it. So I did look like I didn't look as if I was just pretending to know something. I looked like I was an absent-minded little old man, which is typecasting, and I'm against typecasting, but
Well, Dan, I'm going to tell you, do you know why you pulled it off so well?
No.
You've had 3 years of practice right here. Can't argue with it.
I can't argue with it. No, and I'm grateful for it. And as I said to you in our little green room, I'm winding up not waking up as much as I should before I drive to work on Fridays. So I'm thinking about either cutting Last Man Standing on Thursday night down to an hour instead of 2 hours, or only doing it on Saturday nights. Because with 19 weeks left to go before my retirement, I can't afford to get fired for being asleep, and I can't afford to be in a car wreck for being asleep while I'm driving to work.
Yeah.
Carl, that link is on my Facebook. I just posted it earlier this evening. It's on TVM Cafe. I think that's the network rather than the show title.
Show title is called Paranormal.
Also in the news, Texas Pete hot sauce is being sued because apparently it's made in North Carolina, and because it says Texas Pete and it's got a cowboy on the label, somebody's suing them for what do you call it?
Misrepresentation?
Misrepresentation, yes. And they asked the judge dismiss it because they said it was frivolous, and he said, "No, it's actually misleading because people might think it's made in Texas and not North Carolina." So it
No,
apparently,
it's made by a guy in North Carolina that goes by the name of Texas Pete.
that would work, except that it distinctly says also on the back, "Made in Winston-Salem, North Carolina." So,
Hey, they label it.
yeah. But anyway, so
it's like the
which is not
salsa that's
Texas
made
Pete
in New York City. New
Texas
York City. Get a rope.
Texas Pete is not a bad hot sauce. It's just that it's not one of the ones I buy.
Yeah. I got a bottle of McElhenney just the other day to take to work. There was I was making my own hot and sweet sauce for some of the stuff I take to work that really cries out for something that's sort of a Chinese barbecue sauce, basically. And I remembered that I did that from scratch one time back when I was in college, and it was really good, and it was really simple, and it was just stuff that I had around in the kitchen, and I put it together, and it went, oh wow, that tastes like the stuff that they put on the Mongolian barbecue or the house special fried rice, the barbecue chunks that's in that, and I'm going, I'll have to remember that one. Eventually, I did. Yeah, not all Texas toast comes from Texas. Yeah, it's just thick enough to pass for it. Take that as you will.
I'm sort of checking some stuff out right quick.
Me too.
Well, I'm not doing anything, so I guess I got to talk to y'all.
Yeah, keep talking.
Keep talking.
Like
Let
I'm
you do
good
all
at-
the work.
Like I'm good at that.
Trying
I'm
to
thinking.
see if numbers. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, Mega Millions numbers haven't come down yet, so
Yes,
Oh well.
they did. It's rolls over till Tuesday.
it
Oh.
does roll over.
Yes, it's now. It looks like it might be one of the largest lottery jackpots in history.
Oh, that's Mega Millions. Powerball.
Oh, you said Mega Millions.
Oh,
It's
yeah, it's 1.5 billion
Thank you, Carl.
Saturday.
Yeah, that might pay the rent for a week or two.
Oh yeah. And guys, I'm gonna give you a hint. If I ever win the lottery, you know
Bye.
how you guys are gonna find out?
You're not
We'll
here.
never see you again.
You damn straight.
Suddenly, Chris is running HallowCon, and nobody's heard from you in 6 months.
Because Donna done buried it in the backyard, took all the money and run. Did I say that out loud?
I've got
Have we got another Russian bot after all this time?
I don't know if it's a Russian bot or, but somebody likes a kazoo.
Kuzu.
John,
Okay.
do you know?
Okay. I don't speak that language.
We
but
don't. We don't. I'm sorry. We don't know what you're saying.
Well,
It's pretty much.
Fatma is an Arabic female name.
Yeah.
That's
Fatima. Yeah. Although I pronounce it as if it had an I or two extra in there. Yeah. I learned my pronunciation from Ray Stevens.
Kudzu.
Kudzu. Oh,
No.
Hey,
hope
them
not.
fighting words down here, Carl.
Yeah, really. We got enough kudzu in the South.
hey, I could mail a package to the Middle East if it didn't violate the Strategic Arms Limitation
No
Treaties.
kidding.
Oh, could you imagine? Let's see, France, is that the one that has decent? No, Italy. Could you imagine Italy getting overrun with kudzu? Or Greece?
They'd probably figure out a way to eat it.
North Korea, I could imagine that and be very, very happy.
Yeah. Now, North
course-
Korea is more like
A trailer park.
Indiana, Ohio, Michigan weather.
So
Kudzu just don't grow good there.
You remember?
give it 5 minutes, it'll mutate.
Oh, what was his name? He was our favorite Yankee at Chattacon.
Jeff Dunham? No.
No. Oh, I'm so terrible with names. It's ridiculous. I'll remember it in a few minutes. But he kept coming down here making, and they'd always have him as a guest of honor on panels and stuff like that. And they kept making fun of him. He kept making fun of the South. We kept making fun of Yankees, and we actually thought about making a nice bouquet for him to take back north with him that had made with kudzu, potted plant.
Kudzu and wisteria. Make sure you plant this really deep.
Yeah. Just plant it anywhere. It grows pretty easy.
They were brought over from Asia as a
It is
ornamental plant in the.
it is a Japanese
20s.
cultivation that's very popular in the South.
The bad thing about sending kudzu to North Korea is that you can make bread out of the roots. Well, at least it wouldn't starve.
Probably violating a boycott or two.
I can see Greenpeace getting on to me for shipping flowers everywhere.
Oh,
It'd be like shipping little teeny tiny clones of Godzilla.
see that now they missed it. They missed an opportunity to name kudzu after Godzilla. I'll tell you.
Oh, my
I think
word.
Kudzu had a name long before Godzilla existed.
I don't know. I think
No.
Kudzu may have been the inspiration.
Well,
That's-
Toho Studios is not going to recognize that claim.
There's an idea. I'll sneak up to Sequoia Nuclear Plant and plant a lot of kudzu along their fence line. We'll wait 10 years and see what we get.
Sued. Oh.
Mutant kudzu.
They thought triffids were bad. I mean, kudzu would be worse than zombies.
Hey, there's a story for you, Dan.
Who just
Make a
there's
yeah,
Rich.
make a mockumentary of Day of the Triffids. Hey, Rich,
Day of the Triffids using kudzu.
using kudzu. A southern version of Day of the Triffids, but instead of Triffids, it's kudzu.
You could pretty much film it in real time because that stuff grows
Yeah, really,
fast enough to see.
Guys, you
Yes,
can
Joe.
buy kudzu online.
Yes.
Kudzu extract.
Oh, in capsules.
They actually make
Well, I told you can
Edible
make bread
kudzu.
out of it. Yeah.
you can make What is it? You make salad out of leaves? There's all sorts of stuff that's.
No, but I don't know about that, but the fibers in the vines are very good and very durable cloth. You can weave them into very durable cloth. Sort of like you can out of hemp or rattan
It
or things
does.
like
It
that.
does
Yeah,
remind me a bit of him. Um,
yeah,
And it also
not as much fun.
curbs your drinking.
Yeah, because it
'Cause
goes up and
it'll get
takes
to
the
the
damn
bottle
drink
before
out of
you
your
do.
hand. Oh Lord.
Rich, what's going on?
Oh yeah, the plant is edible, but is often sprayed with herbicides. You see,
I just
the
mow it in
name
my yard.
the name kudzu is derived from the Japanese name from the plant East Asian arrowroot. So kudzu is a form of arrowroot.
Son of error shirt. Nobody will get that joke that hasn't read Board of the Rings. I'm sorry.
It can be used to make baskets. It's used in basket weaving.
Hmm. Oh,
Uh,
the fibers can be woven into cloth. It's very very hardy. Um, the baskets I imagine would have about a 10-year lifespan.
in in homeopathic medicine, it is considered to be one of the 50 fundamental herbs to have therapeutic effects, though no high quality clinical research to indicate it.
Well, if it's
As,
homeopathic, you just have to have just that little teeny tiny bit.
Well,
uh,
the thing is, what does it help?
that's just it.
It,
Uh, there's no. You see,
I
it
mean,
helps
since the fibers are
goats
really
and turkeys get.
durable, I mean, it would
they've
be a
researched.
really good material to make ropes.
Yeah,
Oh
they've
yeah.
researched. There's a compound in it called, if I know I'm going to butcher this too, um, Icarin. There's something that looks like asparagus and something that looks like paraffin that I cannot pronounce. Apparently, mitigates iron overload in the cerebral cortex of mice with Alzheimer's disease. So apparently, it has some Alzheimer's remedy type
Well,
research.
there you go. That's why God put it in the South to help the folks with Alzheimer's. Uh,
The roots contain starch and has been used in a food ingredient because they can pull the starch out. Let's see, they make a drink out of it. Apparently, there's a kudzu soil or soda with some sort of pomelo oil.
now I do.
Traditional Korean medicine. It takes the place of arrowroot in arrowroot tea. Apparently, it is a type of arrowroot. And here's one for you, Joe. Every picture that they've got on Wikipedia of kudzu is from
Yeah.
Georgia.
Well, yeah.
Kudzu leaves near Canton, Georgia. Kudzu smothering trees in Atlanta. Let me see here. Kudzu plants near Canton. Ooh, it actually did make it to Brooklyn.
Yes, and wild turkeys love it as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, the ones that live in the woods or the ones that like it's the whiskey that gets drinking?
The ones that live in the woods that are overgrown with kudzu.
Oh my God. Somebody imported this stuff to Havana, Cuba.
No wonder they're pissed at us.
Payback. What can we do to really piss off Castro's Cuba? Let's drop kudzu all over the countryside. Oh, I can just see everybody in the Oval Office and the Pentagon just laughing their ass off, rolling the floor on that one. That's
And
Again, that would violate some arms agreements.
yeah, I believe that.
yeah, really.
I believe that's considered biological warfare of a sort.
It's one of the few things that grow on the copper mine tailings at Red Hill, Tennessee. and it grows really well
Yep.
in copper slag.
Oh, here's a good one. The U.S. military, especially the Air Force, used to plant kudzu at their bases on islands in the Pacific to serve as camouflage for equipment, and has since become a major weed and taken over several islands in the Pacific.
Yep.
See, Australia doesn't want it. They're upset that there's kudzu in Australia. New Zealand has declared it an unwanted organism and has added to the Biosecurity New Zealand register as of 2002.
Chris, kudzu grows 3 feet per day. Ivy doesn't do that.
Yeah, really. Strange enough, Chattanooga, Tennessee made it into the Wikipedia post on this. In the United States, the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee undertook a trial program in 2010 using goats and llamas to graze on the plant. It does not say how
And they
long.
had to bring in a donkey because of the coyotes.
Okay, you got some explaining to do, Lucy.
The donkeys would fight off the coyotes.
Yeah.
And
And
would
what's
keep
that
the
got to
coyotes.
do with what's
It
that
would
got
keep
to
the
do with
coyotes away.
llamas?
It would keep the coyotes away from the goats.
Away
and
from
llamas.
the llamas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever seen what a donkey will do to a coyote?
Only on video, and that was pretty unbelievable.
Brutal. They'll stomp
Uh,
them to where they can't move, and then they'll grab them by the neck and do Hulk versus Loki to them.
yeah. That's what we need in the woods around here.
What?
To get rid of all the coyotes, we just get some donkeys and turn them loose in the woods.
Dan, that's all you need in Georgia is a bunch of more jackasses running around in the woods.
Hey, I'd rather than be running around in the woods and in office in Atlanta.
Get out of my head, Dan.
Pizza.
Ah. Mm.
Power came back on.
Obviously.
Right as Misty was bringing her sandwich into the living room to eat. Because with the power out, with us having electric range, I couldn't cook.
Now you have to sleep on the couch because you got pizza and she had a sandwich.
No, this is left over from last night.
Oh, okay.
I have a Coleman camping stove that's got a griddle on one side and a burner on the other, runs on propane, that I keep for just such emergencies.
I've got a Coleman camper stove that runs off of bottle gas. The little bitty ones, not the great big huge ones, although I'm sure there's an adapter somewhere where I could do that. And that is exactly for tornado season and blizzard season in Georgia. So in the 8 years I've owned it, it's never been used, but it has been gotten out and gotten ready.
I have a 3-burner camper stove out in the back building just in case.
Mm-hmm. I've got a kerosene heater back in one of the barns. Don't know where I could buy kerosene nowadays, but
Kerosene's got stupid crazy.
oh, it costs more than diesel fuel. It's refined. Diesel fuel is just crude.
You know what RP1 is?
I don't know what RP1 is.
rocket propellant number one.
Oh, kerosene. Yeah.
It's just it's somewhere between kerosene and gasoline.
Yeah. It just depends on where you stop boiling it off.
Yep. And then you dump liquid oxygen on it and you can go to the moon. If you ain't careful, without a spacesuit or a rocket ship.
You're not talking about one of them hypergolic fuels that just kind of explodes when you mix the two
Actually,
ingredients together.
they use kerosene in some of the hypergolic fuels.
Oh,
I'm not sure what the oxidizer is that makes it go up in flames, but
oh, drat! I should know this. It showed up prominently in a couple of books. It was one of those things where it was going, you shouldn't ever play with this. Wasn't with my chemistry set, I'll tell you that. Damn, all I can think of right now is fuming nitric acid. And I know that ain't right.
actually, you may be correct. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find that Wikipedia thing. Trying to remember the name of that rocket that the general, everyone hated it because it ran on hypergolic fuel, and the general who's in charge of it took a chair downrange and sat next to the rocket while they were fueling it. And that was the last mistake he ever made as a human being.
As a charcoal briquette, he made several more mistakes.
They didn't even find enough of him to call charcoal briquette.
Ooh, yeah, Carl. That back in the day, had cobalt. Ooh. And Daddy worked at Oak Ridge. Think about the permutations. Maybe he quit working at the Y12 gas diffusion plant because I had a chemistry set and was really curious and might go to work on Father's Sunday with him.
Okay. I think I may have made a mistake by typing in Russian rocket disaster. Oh, I found it. It's actually called the Netherlands catastrophe, named after the general that said it wasn't going to blow it. Disaster is named after Chief Marshal of Artillery Metrofan Ivanovich Nedlin. And it was an R-16 developmental rocket, which was an intercontinental ballistic missile, actually. You see, I'm trying to read what was the fuel. There was a short circuit in the rocket. Ooh. Oh, okay. It was a hypergolic pair of let me see what's in it. It's called, the nickname for it is Devil's Venom. And it was nitric acid and dinitrogen tetroxide. Just pronouncing it is hard enough.
Wow.
And they for some reason, the Russian hierarchy insisted that all the rockets launch on famous Russian holidays, even if they weren't ready to launch on those famous Russian holidays.
Yep. That makes perfect sense.
Here's you a good hypergolic.
Triethyl boring.
I know just enough chemistry to know I don't want to touch that or be within 60 miles of it.
Aluminum.
3 miles is safe enough. But that's what SpaceX uses to light the Falcons.
I bet it don't take much.
Is that green flash you talked
Yeah,
about?
that's
Jeff?
the green flash.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, you just squirt this stuff into the air and it self ignites.
aluminum and boron. I'm not sure what borane is. It sounds like it's a borite type something. Aluminum, however, would explain A, the green flash, and B, the ignition. Aluminum is used as a booster for some explosives.
mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's
and
what makes fireworks go boom.
Dan, you were talking about the copper slag
Oh,
growing
yeah.
the kudzu. For about 3 years, China was buying the slag and the cast offs of Copper Hill, Tennessee. They were hauling, the big tandem dump truck loads from there to hit the Tennessee River down just right down below the house almost. It was cheaper for them to buy that stuff over here, buy our cast off trash to make copper in China.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We actually had green streaks on the road.
Yeah. It's surprising. I should know more about it, but I can't remember if China has, and I would suspect from that news it does not, a large or any really dependable size of raw copper ore deposits. I know that they have abundant bauxite for aluminum, but I don't know anything about them having copper. Now, they went through a Bronze Age, so they must have had some.
Yeah. Well, have you seen manholes around in areas that have like the city seal and the city logo?
Uh-huh.
If you run around Chattanooga and flip those manholes over, they say made in China. There's
They used
one.
they used to make them right here in Chattanooga.
Yeah,
What's sad about
they
that?
used to make, and I used to pick it up when I was working at the city. I was in stormwater division, so we would go get the manhole rings and what they call risers. And I asked him, I said, why, if you got this foundry right here, do you buy them from China? He says, because I can buy 20 from China, what it costs to make one here, and have it shipped.
Now, there are some of those, they're stamped with the word teleport. You can stand on them all day. They
Don't do a
lie.
damn thing.
Nope, don't do nothing.
Rich is going. I can see him wanting to shake his eyes, but Carl, what were they buying from China? Manhole covers and the riser ring thing that it sets in that you bury in the asphalt.
And the sad part is, we used to have a steel mill right here in town that made the damn things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Hell, wasn't it about half the northeastern states were populated by steel mill towns that are ghost towns now, basically?
And we're living here in Allentown.
Yeah.
What's that dog's name, Rich?
This one is my Bella. So,
My Bella or just Bella?
Bella. Yeah, you showed your Bella a couple weeks ago when she farted on you. This is mine. And she's Bella. And then she's got her brother Bucky, which Bucky noped out to the other room. Haha, no. Daddy's going to hold you like a baby. That's what you get for begging.
Oh,
That's why I
Yes,
don't
I know
dare.
you will murder me in my sleep.
That's why I don't dare open the door during a show. I'll wind up with a German Shepherd holding it like that.
Yeah, they went with me today to do more work on Dad's house. No, Bella, I got no food for you. Go. I don't care if you call BS. Go.
Chris says Manchuria is the area in China.
That explains why that was the target of the Japanese invasion back before World War II.
Yeah. No, our dog, Scooter, I have finally decided that we are never taking him for just a little car ride anywhere. Because every time I've taken him out, he rides, he sticks his head out the window, just everything. I pull in the driveway, I stop, I put the car in park, turn the car off, open the door, and he pukes in the seat.
So these
He
two
doesn't have
idiots.
motion sickness. He has lack of motion sickness.
I have no idea which one did it. So we got to Dad's. Yeah, as soon as we got out of the car, got him in the grass, they both peed. All right, cool. We sat there for a couple more minutes. Nothing. All right, we go in the house. One of them goes upstairs, drops a load. It was you, wasn't it?
That sounds like my dog, our dog Loki.
And
I
then-
hated giving him away, but he was a fucking terror.
We put him outside for a little bit. It started raining. We let him in. They're outside for several hours. They come in. One of them craps. It's like, really? You just came in. You were literally just outside. Why didn't you do your business?
Because it's air conditioned in here.
No, actually, it wasn't.
That was
The
outside of my
AC is
comfort
off at
zone.
Dad's.
Oh. Be right back.
But it was dry.
But I'm not going to the show tonight.
No, I wasn't. But I'm not going to last much longer. Are you done?
But you're going to do this.
I forgot about that. Oh, well.
How come you see it?
How do you put an ace bandage on a shoulder?
Carefully. Where in the shoulder
What part of the
are we
shoulder?
talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
They're believing it's a possible rotator cuff.
Then you would need to mobilize your arm, which means you don't actually put an ace bandage on the arm. You get yourself a
Sling.
sling.
But they don't want her to put her arm in a sling because if the shoulder is one of those joints, if you don't use it, it locks up. But you don't want to use it because it hurts. But when it locks up, it hurts.
Walmart. There is over by like the lidocaine patches and stuff like that. There is a roll-on pain medication. I think they call it stop pain. I wouldn't put it on the shoulder right before you go to bed. Because for me, I just can't sleep with that smell that because it's a strong eucalyptus type smell. But if I put it on during the day and I'm moving about and stuff like that, it's not as cloying. And it's not a miracle cure, but I mean, for me, it can ratchet my pain down a point or two on the 10-point scale.
As with most things in modern life, Joe, I found you a YouTube video and put it in chat.
All right. I'll watch that and I'll be right back.
Which I was a little skeptical when I first looked at it because they're using a medical dummy mannequin that doesn't have arms. I'm like,
It makes it easy to wrap it on its shoulder.
yeah, don't it?
First, you start at the back of the head. You go all the way around the mouth about 7 times and stretch it real tight. And then you work on the shoulder.
I could post you a video of Here Come the Mummies and let you figure it out from there. But
Okay, so
yes, you have to use a nice bandage. You can't use a roll of duct tape.
yes, you can.
the dummies in the very beginning are just her talking about being, former
Yeah.
lifeguard, stuff like that. So for CPR purposes and stuff.
I can imagine that people swimming in the ocean would hurt their shoulders quite often. Waves and sand and all sorts of fun stuff.
Well, swimming in itself is a whole lot more physical than people actually believe. It's good exercise.
I used to lose a lot of weight when I was younger because I lived on the lake because I spent half the summer in the water. The other half I spent working. Didn't do a lot of sleeping.
I've been playing a video game again, and I've had my headphones on, and I have headphone hair now.
And here we thought you were trying to groom yourself as a Marvel villain. You're not purple, though. You're just red. Ever notice how purple seems to be the villain color? Purple and a very dark green seem to be villain colors.
I think part of that might go back to purple being that color of royalty, and people that are looking to be the overruling type individual,
The conquerors.
kind of go to that royal blue, that purple.
Joe, we can't see
coloration.
that. Back it up a little bit. There you go, right there. Hold it there.
I don't think that's going to do well with Carl's Munsey thing.
Yeah, just scan it, everybody. Just scan it.
You're holding it up. I ain't scanning nothing. I ain't clicking on a single link you post. I ain't scanning nothing you hold
Sorry,
up.
Joe. You done cried wolf too many times on that thing. So
No. Even Carl says he ain't going for it.
Carl, no scan.
I totally
Even
see-
R2D2 ain't going to fall for that one.
And he put that probe in everything.
at Joe Doug's funeral, in the program for the funeral, there's going to be a QR code about scan this to come and say something nice about Joe Doug, blah blah blah. And I can see you scanning it and you're getting rickrolled. One last rickroll from him. And why do I get the idea that I just gave him an idea?
It doesn't matter. I'm planning
I'm
on
going to try
buying
and
a
get-
55-gallon drum of black cats and dumping it in the coffin with him.
When Joe dies, I'm going to try and get the Red Bank High School marching band to play. Never going to give you up at his funeral. Somebody opens up the double doors in the back of the funeral home when the marching band comes rolling in. One last Rickroll.
You do that, and I'll get somebody to show up and play. Thank God and Greyhound, you're gone. Uh, and it's just because I love you, Joe.
Oh God.
Actually,
No pun intended.
okay.
There it is.
If Joe decides to get buried in a cemetery, we need to get him a clear acrylic tombstone with a solar panel across the top of it, inside the acrylic, and a speaker built into it, and a motion sensor. And every time somebody walks past his grave, a little MP3 player inside of it starts playing. Never going to give you up.
It better not have a Wi-Fi.
There's a prank.
Get one of those Bluetooth advertising things that every time you walk close enough to his grave for it to pick up your phone,
You get a StreamYard ad.
and when you click on the text message to see who's texting you in the middle of the cemetery, it's Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up. I bought my first smartphone a while back. Took the kids down to Six Flags. Took my phone with me. Thought that was pretty cool. Had my little earbud so I could hear what was going on. Anybody called me, needed something. I had the phone in my pocket, had the ear thing in my ear. Walked through there, all of a sudden I get a call. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a phone call. I look, it's a text message. I click on it. One of their fucking amusement park rides sent me a text message advertising the amusement park ride because it was sponsored by some company. And the amusement park ride texted me on Bluetooth and sent me there. And I clicked on it to see what the hell they were texting me, and it sent me to the site for the advertising for the thing.
Oh, Carl just nailed it.
No, we wouldn't be playing the national anthem. Oh, lay me down in forest lawn in a silver casket. No copyright strike. I stopped really quickly.
I need to do a little bit of delving. I need to write a Rick Roll sermon.
A Rick Roll sermon. Joe was a loyal friend that would never give you up. He would never let you down.
Wait a minute.
He'd never run around and desert you.
You got to make it more subtle than that, John. I'm sorry.
No, not for Joe's friends. They're used to it.
Do we have gas pumps do we have TVs in the gas pump? Yeah, we have the little media player things in the gas pump that never shut up. And there's a button that says turn off the sound. It never works. It never works.
Now, to be fair, first we were traveling down to Disney World. First time I ever saw one of those was at this big gas station somewhere south of Atlanta. And we pulled in there and everybody's tired. We had decided to leave like late at night, drive all night to get there, to be there ready to go first thing in the morning. Pulled in that gas station. I'm sitting there pumping gas. And it was off when we pulled up. But once I started pumping gas, it came on. It didn't come on until I hit the trigger for the gas pump. And it was CNN. Of course, I've been in a van for 4 hours, so I actually got to watch CNN headline news for a few minutes. It was pretty cool.
That's utilitarian. That's good. The ones I get are all commercials for the company that has supplied the gasoline to the station.
Of course, that was back when I still liked CNN and didn't realize they were flipping, communist news network.
We use the same name for them.
You know, before I went to Iraq, people used to tell me all that news crap is made up. They make up, whoever's buying the news gets whatever they want on the news channel. I said, oh, you guys are paranoid. Then I went to Iraq. Then I actually saw how some of these people actually fabricate the news. They didn't report anything that actually happened over there. They would take what few facts they could find and twist it into whatever agenda they were pushing.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter which network it is, they all work the same way.
Yes.
The only difference is their agenda.
Yeah, the message that they're trying to spend or send, the advertising dollars they're trying to attract, and the folks that they're trying to pander to.
Yeah. Or gain the loyalty thereof, yeah. I miss Walter Cronkite so much. There was a man that could deliver the news and not tell you what you were supposed to think about it. You had to make up your own mind. He just gave you the facts.
And he would have never been hired today.
No, he never would have made it out of journalism school.
Was it Dan Rather that they barged in and started whacking the hell out of him, yelling, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?"
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where the REM song came from. And Spider Robinson used it as a plot point in a Lady Sally's House novel or collection of short stories. And it made it make sense in Spider Robinson's book. But the REM song is pretty cool.
And then Brian Williams talked about being shot at in a helicopter. Never was.
Never. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, there was somebody else. Oh, there were a lot of politicians that claimed to be on the front lines of something or another that happened, and they were like 5 states away. Facts are such inconvenient things sometimes. Gets in the way of the narrative.
All right, guys, I'm going to tap. I'm here.
Have a good one, Joe Doug.
I'm almost here an hour longer than I said I would be.
You said you weren't going to be here at all, so whatever time we've spent with you is bonus time.
Yep, just remember that. Now Dan's sweating.
No, I'm just going, okay, here comes the Rickroll.
Here comes the Rickroll. Okay. Look
Like
down, Dan.
Like you weren't doing it. Oh, God.
All right. Good night, guys. No, don't click in broadcast. Click leave studio. Oh, I love that. It looks like he's looking around your chair. Like, what the hell did you do?
Why are you barking at Kitty Bucky?
All right, Chris, hop in here and keep them straight. I'll holler at y'all later. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Night,
night.
Joe. Have
Yes,
fun storming the castle.
Yes, I want to leave.
Hey, if we were to get Joe an ace bandage and name it Rick, it would be a Rickroll and a Rick Wrap.
John, you're working too hard. You need a vacation, dude.
Desperately.
Go over to the Middle East and blow up some shit and come back. You'll feel much better. therapy, you know. Oh man. That's not welcome.
Yeah, right. Anyway. I get my head just the right distance from the camera, so my head's about the same size as Rick Astley's. The boy got some big hair, don't he?
Is it actually his? Or did he buy it at Walmart?
Good question.
I told you about the
If you look at it just
billboard
right,
we have out here, right?
it looks like he's got a small roast turkey stuck to his head.
Yeah. So we got a billboard out here for a law firm that's got Rick Astley on it, and it's like, we're never going to give you up. We're never going to let you down. I'm like, really? You went there?
Unless you don't pay the bill, and then we're going to desert you.
No, they won't desert you. They'll hound you until you pay. Then they're really not going to ever give you up.
Can't get blood out of a turnip.
You can. You just got to put the blood in the turnip first.
That has permutations I don't wish to explore at this time.
So when I was working for the first company that I supported the firm through, on the other side of the house, we were servicing R. Donnelly. And one of the supervisors for the R. Donnelly desk said something about can't get blood out of a turnip. And I said that. I said, you can. You just got to put the blood in first. And she looked at me. She's like, you always have to find a way, don't you? Yes?
Yes.
And then she just stopped and she just...
All right, Crash. Oh.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, man?
I have safely returned from Ross's Landing.
What were you doing at Ross's Landing?
I was watching Departure, a Journey tribute band, for their Riverfront Nights free concert series.
Uh-huh. Any good?
Yes, very good.
Oh, excellent.
They're
For
one
those
of
who
the
don't
best.
know, one of Journey's albums was entitled Departure. So the
Yes, that's
tribute
where I
band.
got it. There's 3 tribute bands that I know of. One of them is Captured. Another one I think is Evolution. One's California, one's Midwest, and Departure is based out of Atlanta.
A great name for a band that comes from a city that everybody has to fly into no matter where you're going.
Yeah. Well, interestingly enough, Departure was named after their album, which was departing from the 70s into the 80s.
Ah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I only watched them on MTV. I wasn't ever a huge fan. I didn't disrespect them, but it wasn't quite my thing. But I could tell talent when I saw it.
That was Greg Raleigh's last album, studio album with the band. Of course, Greg Raleigh was the keyboard player for Santana, which him and Neil Schon were originally part of his backing band. And, Greg Raleigh would pick him up from school because he was only 15 when he started playing with Santana and bring him to the gigs. He got offers from Santana and Eric Clapton at the same time to join their bands. That's how damn good of a guitarist he was.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Donna.
You get offers from those two. They got some mad respect for your skills
Well,
and see your potential.
Sammy Hagar called him frustrating because he said he was one of the most creative guitarists and musicians he'd ever worked with. He could just come up with stuff was so easy, and it was so frustrating because Sammy was having trouble keeping up with him.
One of the concerts I went
Hey, dog.
to just shortly after my college years was Boston and
Mhm.
Sammy Hagar at University of Georgia.
Yeah.
Boston was really great. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody just digging it, digging it, digging it. Sammy Hagar came out and blew them away.
Sammy Hagar's very underrated as a solo artist. Of course, he was also with Van Halen, and he has his other bands, Chickenfoot and The Circle. And of course, Sammy Hagar and the Waparitos.
Yeah, I remember Van Hagar.
Um,
Of course, I never did like David Lee Roth that much. So, somebody else singing for the band piqued my
I like
interest quite a
both.
bit.
I like both versions of the band. They both had some great songs. They also had some that weren't necessarily my favorite, but they were okay.
Well, just about every band is that way. I mean, nobody
I
turns
love
out
the energy.
100% all the time.
Yeah, I love the energy of the first album that that Van Halen did with Sammy Hagar.
Was that 5150?
Yes,
Yes.
I mean that they were determined to kick ass. Eddie was like determined, like, look, we can do this without you, David, and just the energy, the intensity, um, there really wasn't a bad song on that album.
Not
Nope.
really, no.
And actually, probably one of my favorite songs from that whole album was 5150. The energy from that song was just intense.
Now, is it just me, or has David Lee Roth turned into Dr. Smith from the original Lost in Space?
He has cut his hair pretty shortly. And Keith Roth is Sirius XM. No, take it back. It was Tommy London. Or it might have been both of them. They keep saying that he's saying, we're coming. So I don't know if that's his solo band or some other project he's got that he's going to tour with. His solo band was pretty damn good. Had Steve Vai, Greg Bissonette, and Billy Sheehan, who's a very accomplished bass player.
Carl, as long as the cat is in a box, it's occupied. When it gets out of the box and starts dragging you to the bedroom, then you can worry.
Oh, another thing about Greg Raleigh before I forget, he was also in his band called the Storm, which he originally left
I didn't even post
Journey
that one.
because he wanted to raise his family and got tired of being on the road so much. Well, did the Storm. They did a couple of albums. They did okay, but what Greg has done most of the past 2 decades is play with Ringo Starr's All Star Band,
Which is a noble pursuit in and of itself. I'm going to have to
yeah.
just kill the YouTube. It will not keep up with the show. I'm sorry. I'm not going to reboot the damn thing over and over again. Um, uh, now, Rich, if you have your sign ready, I will post that comment from Dawn. This is like cut-ups where you create an entire story by taking random lines and string them together in different ways so they make the most sense that you prefer.
But to your comment that made me hold up the sign there, Dan. When a kitty dragged you to the bedroom, that's a good night.
Depends on the kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, Dawn, when do you try to be innocent?
Can I help you, Bucky?
I forgot what I suggested putting on the other side of that card. I can't remember. I've slept since then.
Wait, this is the green room. That's the perfect other side.
Kumquat, the safe word.
Yeah.
Because Carl put it on the other side of his green room sign last night, and he flipped it over to show everyone.
So he did watch the replay.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I got tagged in the post. It's bad when I get tagged in a post.
Oh, really? Oh, dear. Dawn had a huge cat tower she wasn't using, and it's in the back of her van waiting for installation tomorrow. They don't know it yet. I'm trying to figure out just why Dawn wasn't using the cat tower. Maybe it was, just one of those things you got off a Wish, and it just wasn't what you ordered.
Oh, God.
Maybe the kitty just wasn't interested.
One of the individuals I follow, where their YouTube shorts end up in my feed all the time. I almost choked on my water because as I'm watching it, it's they're making fun of a demon, and they call him the wish something or other. I don't remember the exact, but I almost choked. I was laughing so hard.
John, years ago they got bought out by Golden Gallon, but they're starting to make a comeback in the area.
7-Elevens?
Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, they were.
At least they're not Magic Market. We don't never want Magic Markets to come back.
We just had a 7-Eleven open by us.
Sorry, I'm just now reading Donna's and Carl's comments and then Don's response.
We have, I knew we had one nearby here.
There's one in Ringo. It's off Alabama Highway exit.
Yep, it's right down the road from my house, actually.
Oh, well, apparently I wasn't too far from you.
Okay. And let me see here.
I stopped there on the way back home.
And then
because they had the racetrack doors locked at the Battlefield Parkway exit.
Huh.
2 people inside, which if they got 2, they're supposed to have them open, but they didn't.
Apparently, there's one up in Ottawa. There's one over by McKay's. It's on the other side of the freeway.
Yeah.
And there's one down in Chickamauga. And there's 3 up in Joe's neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Good
they're
night,
starting
Carl.
to make a comeback. Okay, Carl. Have a good night and good luck with your secret.
John, are you ever going to get tired of doing that?
No.
No, I'm actually going to find ways to outflank this particular broadcast so that I can hit you from multiple directions with it.
Nope, we're done with that. Good night. Go to bed.
It's
Yeah,
Saturday,
John's
dude. I
not
don't
gonna
have to go to bed for hours yet. Don't give me orders.
Cats have
John's
three
not.
peppers. There's not enough room in the living room for the fourth one, so we sent it with Carl. How nice you people are.
I figured you were just tired of it. You wanted one of the little dangly thing you could play with.
I have one of those. I personally don't, but I do have one of those.
Okay.
Not the green room.
You guys have been making it green room like this. I have been behaving tonight.
I've been good tonight. I have not told any off-color jokes tonight, except for the Rick Ashley stuff.
Well, then it's John's sort of like with that. It's time for the end of the show when Dawn comes on. The way Joe is about Rick rolls, they're never going to get tired of it.
Never going to give it up. Never going to let you down.
It lets me down every time.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
It was a fun day.
Wake up. It's time for your sleeping pill.
Oh, Donna. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, see, this is going to be why it will be hard for me to either cut Thursday night's Last Man Standing to an hour or stop Thursday night Last Man Standing entirely. But
technically, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to have a time limit on your show. If you want to stop at 30 minutes in, you should be able to stop at 30 minutes in. You want to go 3 hours, you should be able to go 3 hours.
If I go 3 hours, it's because the last 2.5 hours I've been snoring.
Or that we didn't notice they happened.
This is true.
That's happened to us more than once.
It's so much fun. You hate to stop. Oh,
There's been a few times me and Dan kind of got lost in the conversation. Next one we knew it was almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, really. There have been times when we were both awake the entire time and talked about music until the sun came up. Started to say it dawned on us, but someone gets sensitive about the use of her name.
Oh my goodness. One crazy last man standing and all my life goes to hell, right?
Think about me. One time. Oh, yeah, I'll do the after show.
Well,
I read a book one time that was
apparently my voice compelled Carl.
I read this book one time where it was about the world's greatest hitman and how he got his start. He was this kid in Dallas, Texas, and he went to see the president's motorcade. Some guy in a black suit walked over, handed him a string of fireworks and some matches, said, "Here, kid, set these off."
Not good.
I'm trying to tie that to all kinds of stuff that I've already known about, but
and apparently JFK's motorcade came through. He was up there setting off fireworks, and The rifle shots rang out. He put 2 and 2 together, and he says, "I've never been seen in Dallas, Texas since then." He says they were creating patsies right and left, and I didn't want to be one of them.
Smart kid.
Yeah, in that regard, for damn sure.
Name of the book. I wish I could remember the artist or the author's name. Name of the book was The Jehovah Contract. It's a pretty good book, actually. Very
Well, I'm
good.
sure your Google Foo can find it.
Probably. But,
Oh, well, yeah, you got the name of the book. I mean, good grief. That's better than a lot of people searching for stories they've read once and couldn't remember. And Donna, okay, I'm not going to say what I was starting to say. Let me self-edit here.
That might be a good idea.
Definitely. Like to stay married, thank you. I am on camera.
Yeah, which hopefully your mom never finds out about the.
you know
YouTube.
what?
Yeah, she does have a YouTube. No, she doesn't have a YouTube account. She has access to YouTube.
I can't find it on Wikipedia. They're usually pretty good about that stuff.
Huh.
Let's try just regular old Bing.
Google or-
Ah, Victor Coman.
That name sounds familiar.
Oh, let's see.
Spell the last name, please.
Koman.
Oh, okay. Not what I was thinking, but yeah. Not someone I'm familiar with as a writer, but
Hang on a minute. Let me see. He has several books out, actually.
Okay.
Huh.
it's allowed.
Let's see.
Oh,
Death's
yeah.
Dimensions, a psychotic space opera. Weeds. Oh, he wrote a book with Chris Carter. How interesting.
Oh, wow.
Football player?
No, I think it's
no, the guy from
X-Files.
Yeah.
Chris Carter created the X-Files.
Oh, you're thinking of the former Minnesota Vikings wide receiver.
Number
Chris Carter.
83 feet. Yes,
Ohio
yes.
State.
Okay.
He has no H in after the C in his name.
No, he does not. They're being really weird tonight. I think me sitting on this side while I'm charging everything is just throwing them off. Usually I sit on that side of the couch.
Victor Coleman is a 3-time Prometheus Award winner.
Oh, wow. So he writes libertarian fiction.
Apparently. Science fiction magazine.
You said psychotic space opera?
Psychotic space opera. Yes.
Wow.
I'm interested.
Yeah, it does have a certain.
Oh, wait.
He's a community activist, and this is interesting. He was instrumental in preventing the 1988 destruction of the Disneyland monorail system's last bubble-topped Mark III monorail, Old Red. Apparently, he because he's a writer, he generated a one-man public relations campaign using aliases and made it look like everyone in California wanted to stop this thing. There's hundreds of writers writing against us. Yeah, right.
I may be misremembering, but I think he was actually Tuckerized in an L. Neil Smith novel.
Probably.
Who is also a Prometheus Award winner.
He has also appeared as an extra in several science fiction films, including Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Red Dragon. Really? Cool. And then,
We may generate some searches for his stuff after people
No
see this.
kidding.
Hey, sounds like we should. Yeah.
he has a 1980 book called Starship Woman. 87 was Jehovah Contract. Solomon's Knife, 89. Kings of the High Frontier, 96. Millennium, Weeds. Oh, the Millennium. Remember the Millennium TV series? That was Chris Carter did it.
Lance Henderson.
Huh?
Had Lance
Yeah.
Hendrickson.
Lance Hendrickson. Thank you. Had Lance Hendrickson was the protagonist.
Wasn't Cheryl Ladd on that show as well?
No, that was the movie,
Okay.
and that was the one with Chris Christopherson
Yeah.
and the weird robot, and time travel and space airline disasters and stuff like that.
Millennium.
And then Death's Dimension, a psychotic space opera. He came up with that one in 99. And then Captain Anger Adventures, #1, The Microbiotic Menace. You know, I'm very surprised I've never seen this guy at a sci-fi convention.
Now,
Or if I do, he had a badge name that I don't remember. So.
Millennium, the movie, was based on was it John Varley novel?
Y'all just
It's a great movie with Chris Christopherson, and very, very true to life to the book. It was a lot of time travel stuff, but it definitely wasn't Victor Coman's work by the same name.
John, you said something about libertarian authors.
No,
I said that.
Dan
Yeah.
said something about liberty.
Okay, well,
Yeah, Prometheus is one of those awards given to people that write excellent work promoting libertarianism.
well, it's interesting that you mentioned that you never seen or heard of him in a con. I saw an advertisement for a different Liberty Con in Florida that is
I believe he's
promoting
arrested,
libertarian stuff.
Yep.
And I think it's in September or October. I can't remember which.
Back before I bookmarked the libertycon.org, if you did a Google search, you wound up seeing results for both.
Anyway, I thought I'd mention that while I was thinking about
He
it.
has his own official website called Common Sense.
That's cute.
It shows, and the cover picture shows him standing there with Curtis Armstrong, the star of Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer, Revenge of the Nerds, Van Wilder, Dodgeball, and something else. Booger. Oh no. Wait.
Booger.
Yeah, Booger.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
And Two Real Geeks is with us.
Yep. Hello, Two Real Geeks.
Hey, Two Real Geeks. Maybe you can help us out. We were just talking about a sci-fi writer named Victor Coman. Y'all ever heard of him? Nope. Whoop. I'll wait on him. Say something. Two Real Geeks are down in Florida now, right? Or did they move?
Laugh out loud. I will try to help.
Okay. You know, if I hold my head just right with that background picture, I have little blue neon cat ears.
No, they have not heard of that. And yes, they are in Orlando.
Ah, that's what I thought. So maybe he's in California because he said Disneyland, not Disney World.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, which Disneyland is not as big as Disney World.
Disney World is a county. Disneyland is a few city blocks.
Yeah, I think Disney World is 3,200 acres, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been in the news. So that's, I think it's so funny that Ron DeSantis has been given Disney World hell, and now he wants to be president. And I'm like,
Dude,
you've been dissing Disney. Do you have any idea how many voters nationwide you have pissed off by dissing Disney?
It depends, because some folks ain't happy with Disney, but yeah. And the bad part is they own ABC, so they got a whole network that can really throw some monkey wrenches into his plans. Don't know if he fully thought that through.
Oh, what was it? We were talking about that one night. All the companies that Disney owns, and one of them was that pawn your car tower, checking the cash on one of those money making ventures that kind of explains
just 300% interest.
Explains a lot about Disney.
Yeah, they are greedy.
Ron DeSantis gives them hell and says, "Hell, he got married there at the wedding ceremony at Disney World."
that explains a lot.
Well,
He says innocently.
Maybe it wasn't the happiest place on earth for him.
Well, it was at the time. You know.
I said for him. And that's purely speculation on our part. We don't know. Have to put that disclaimer in there.
Yes, speculation is part of what we do.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's part of the fun.
Well, two of us are speculative fiction writers, so speculation is a lot of what we do.
If it hadn't been for the People Mover show, he'd have been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? People Mover show. That's some Disney trivia that you guys really have to be Disney fans to get.
I hear that song. I think of the movie The Negotiator. So I'm
Well, a friend of mine, and I think possibly mutual of possibly Dan's and possibly John's, was talking about watching Tim Conway movies the other night, Disney movies, and the first one that got brought up was Apple Dumpling Gang 1 and 2 with Don Knotts, and I'm like, but what about the Private Eyes?
Oh, what was that called? With the Wukalar. What was that? Y'all are just going to make me do Google all damn night, aren't you?
You're going to do it whether we want you to or not.
Yeah, she was happy that I brought that up because, like, dude, that's the one we were watching.
All right, let's see here. Come on. Let's see here. SpongeBob movie, 2.5 Men, Word Girl, Hot in Cleveland. He was in Hot in Cleveland. Well, can you imagine him and Betty White in the same thing?
It's comedy gold right there.
Then you got all the dwarf movie.
Yeah, of course, the
Private Eyes. That was the name of the movie.
Nick Tucker. Well, yeah, I brought up Private Eyes because that's
I couldn't remember the name of the movie.
One of the best loved Carol Burnett skits of all time. Was a Mama's Family skit, and
Little White Pygmy Elephant.
He's talking about the Siamese twin elephants who were conjoined at the trunk.
Yeah.
Oh my
Instead
God,
of
I
being
can
able to
almost
go,
do that one word for
they could only go, "Fuh."
word.
I
Dang
think
that trumpet like the other ones. Little monkey would come out there and dance the merengue.
I think Carol Burnett almost fell off the couch on that one.
They
And
all
then-
did.
Vicky
And then I think she called,
Lawrence.
Because
She
of
was
it.
so ticked
called him an
off.
asshole.
Yeah. She said,
Or
"Is
was it
that
Vicky
asshole
Lawrence that called him an
done yet?"
asshole?
Are you
Yeah,
sure
Probably
that
Vicky
Vicky
was
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Oh
She's
my
like,
God.
"Is that asshole done?"
Because that was like the third take, so they were already primed. And she was just like, I'm done. She let it go. Hey, guess what? One would sneeze, the other's eyes get real big.
Well, it was hilarious watching Tim Conway terrorize Harvey Korman.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Dick Van Dyke was in that episode. He's the one who actually ended up on the floor. I think one of them that ended up on the floor laughing.
it's a miracle that Tim Conway didn't wind up in Blazing Saddles. But then I guess they wanted to get Harvey Korman to be able to actually speak his lines.
Oh,
You
God.
put those two together. You put those two together. You got Chaos Incorporated.
Could you imagine Blazing Saddles recast with Tim Conway in Mel Brooks's role?
No, I tell you what would be hilarious. Would be Tim Conway as the executioner. Where Harvey Korman's asking, "Can you do it?" I can't possibly fit him in until next Tuesday. So, Tuesday, splendid. I don't think Harvey Korman would have been able to do that scene without losing it. That would have been, I mean, that's all Conway would have needed to do was that one scene.
I don't think I can think of it without losing it. I mean, seriously.
I don't think he could have gotten that window open knowing that Tim Conway was out there dressed as an executioner.
I still had a VHS player.
They would have wasted so much film, but the blooper reel would have been freaking awesome.
One of the tapes I ran across today was
Tread carefully, Rick. We know what kind of tape you ran across there.
Was my copy of Blazing Saddles.
That is on the external hard drive I will be bringing to HallowCon.
Well, I'm glad I got a Blu-ray copy of the Mel Brooks collection, which that was one.
I wish I had a copy of To Be or Not to Be.
That's in it.
Well, I mean, on my stuff. And I don't have a Blu-ray player, so it wouldn't do me any good to buy that.
Well, I might have a VHS copy somewhere I can find for you between now and then.
Do me real good if I had a working VHS player.
Not a VHS, I mean regular DVD copy.
You did say VHS.
just give it to Sullivan, and I'll eventually get hold of it. Yeah.
Because I think I do have an actual DVD copy of it as well. Yeah, that was an underrated one. I still crack up every time I hear Charles Durning ask him if he wants a chocolate-covered nougat.
As a Johnny Quest fan, I'll watch anything with
Tim Matheson.
Oh, Tim Matheson in it. Yeah, I started calling him Richard Matheson, and I knew, no, that's the writer. Yeah. No, that was one of the main reasons I went to see Animal Houses. Tim Matheson, the voice of Johnny Quest, my childhood.
Oh, he was
awesome.
He's
a bigger smartass than I am. I love that.
You know what's one of my favorite roles with Tim Matheson in it? Up the Creek.
Okay.
I liked him in Burn Notice.
I also liked him as playing the father of Van Wilder in Van Wilder.
Kid's done really well for himself from being just a child voice actor to being an adult in some critically acclaimed roles.
Well, I can tell you, Dan, Up the Creek is not one of those critically acclaimed movies. It is hilarious, though.
Hey, just
Because
because the movie ain't no good don't mean the role wasn't.
it's got Stephen First, who played Flounder in Animal House. It's got Dan
Oh, he
Monahan.
wound up
who
in an
played-
Alan Quartermain movie.
He also was. It also had Dan Monahan, who was Pee Wee in Porky's. And
Oh, he's here.
a couple other character actors that had bit pieces in the thing. But seeing Higgins as the college administrator was hilarious. Most people know him best as Higgins from
Magnum PI. That was really. I wish I could see the last few episodes of the final season again, so I could pick up all the clues there for the last episode, for the last few scenes.
Nick Tucker, did you not see the Alan Quartermain and the City of Gold and the sequel with Richard Chamberlain in the 80s?
You know,
Well, they weren't very well received, but
They
They
were
were-
all
they
right.
were-
I mean,
they
they
were-
weren't great.
I
but
mean,
they were okay.
they weren't Indiana Jones, but they were trying to be.
the problem with a lot of the Alan Quartermain movies, the way I see it, just because I've read the books,
Mm-hmm.
Alan Quartermain was not a pretty man.
He was kind of a jerk too.
He was built like an ape. He was hairy. His hygiene suffered. He was not a ladies' man.
Well, Richard
definitely-
Chamberlain wasn't.
That
after all
definitely
was said and
depends on the
done.
ladies.
And then you think about all the people they've had play him. You know, Richard Chamberlain, Sean Connery, and he was only like 5'4" in the book. So
So they needed Tom Cruise to play him.
Please,
So they
God,
needed Tom
no.
Cruise to play him.
Tom Cruise has ruined enough roles. Please,
actually,
God,
you know who'd probably
He's
play him
short
really well,
enough, though.
except that he couldn't fake a English accent. Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, but if y'all saying Alan Quartermain ain't that pretty, Sylvester Stallone ain't exactly ugly, so that don't quite fit either. Hugh Jackman is possibly short enough.
At 6'2", yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I was saying he was shorter than that.
What was
But
his name? Darn it. I can never remember the guy's name, and he was such a great actor. He played the detective in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
oh, Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Bob Hoskins would have been an excellent Alan Quartermain.
Yeah.
He almost
Yes.
fits the description perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't Andy Serkis short?
Yeah, but he's skinny as all get out.
I don't know. Did you see how bulky he was in?
Black Panther, or what?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
played a
that's right.
mercenary leader in Black Panther, and was
Yeah,
pretty bulky.
Claw. Due to be a major villain, Ulysses Claw, if they ever get that far.
Now, wait a minute. You're not talking about like Professor Gadget's archenemy, are you? We're not going to see him.
No, no, no. This is a Marvel
Dr.
Comics
Gadget.
villain.
Yeah, but they killed off Circus's character in the first Black Panther movie.
Yeah, well,
How many dead people keep coming back in Marvel movies? Come on, Rich. You know this.
Not
Yeah,
many
the
in the
Gadget.
Marvel movies. In the Marvel comics, yes.
Yeah.
yep. Ulysses
They killed
Claw
off
comes
half the
back
universe.
as the
Yeah.
he had somehow merged with some vibranium and came back as an entity composed of sound waves.
They killed
With a
off half
bad
the
temper.
universe and brought half of them back. So
Mm.
That was just sloppy writing.
Lord, if we criticized sloppy writing, there'd be a lot of nonstop
Nobody
talking.
would ever read my second story because the first one wasn't all that good.
let's see here.
Not everybody has the same taste, though. And some people might like what you put out in
Ooh.
story form.
The guy who's
We'll
directing
run with that one. We'll run with that one.
the guy who's directing the new version of the Haunted Mansion, the director, he has revealed details of the Guillermo del Toro script that was scrapped.
Oh,
Which
Oh,
the new director is Justin Seaman.
Aunt Donna's fading fast. She's leaving you with it.
Mm-hmm.
well,
What's going on?
Donna's comment.
I got to say one thing for this Justin Seaman.
Good
guy.
night, Donna.
Good night, Donna.
Not Donna.
and Xander
Good
likes this conversation, so we're doing good for Nick's family.
Nice.
This guy,
Hey, little man.
The guy Justin Seaman, who is directing the Haunted Mansion movie, took his inspiration from movies like Ghostbusters, Neverending Story, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Little Shop of Horrors.
Which
Not
little
bad.
shop of horrors?
It doesn't say actually.
Probably
okay.
the Steve Martin, Rick.
Little Chef of Horrors.
Yeah, I've seen
Probably
both.
the one with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis in it.
Well, yeah, but then Roger Corman's version was really it was great for the budget and the time as well.
And it had Nicholson
Yeah.
in it.
But the
Yeah.
one with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis came out about the same time as the other movies as he was using for inspiration.
This
so
is
that's
true.
why I'm saying that one.
I understand. And thank you, Nick. I wish more people thought that way.
Where's Nick commenting from? God, I hate this guy.
YouTube.
Yep,
Where?
right there.
He loves YouTube. He does not like the Book of Faces.
You guys just like messing with me.
Oh yeah,
What?
he's right. Didn't we just have a Haunted Mansion flick? I mean, it was a Muppets movie, but it seems pretty quick before this new one. But then again, people are taking all kinds of things that were animated or puppetized and making live action. Or entirely CGI stuff like the revamp of Captain Scarlet, which that rocked. That really rocked. I loved it. even though it was CGI. A lot of people object to CGI cartoons, but I enjoyed the heck out of that.
Do you remember a few decades back, they did the Lensman series? Bandai imported it into the United States.
I could never stay awake long enough to finish the first 30 minutes of it.
It's a part Japanese animation and part CGI. So they actually early CGI. It was
Mm-hmm.
not great, but pretty good because the space battles look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I really enjoy the Doc Smith novel series kept of Linsman and his other work as well. But that animation, I could not stay awake. I really could not stay awake. It put me right to sleep. It's like the guy that does Casual Criminalist, and it's always a 2-hour broadcast. And before the first 15 minutes are up,
when the price goes down a little, I'm going to hopefully be able to get a copy of the Babylon 5 series on Blu-ray, and I'm interested to see if they improved on any of the original CGI animation from it. Wasn't bad at the time, but
no,
it's
it was
showing its age.
groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah, it's showing its age a little bit, but
Well, I
it's
mean,
still a great story, great actors, and all that. So
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
complaining, but I just hate that maybe people that didn't see it when it originally came out wouldn't appreciate it because they think the graphics are lame.
I have a
You
problem
have to
with people
understand.
that I have a problem with people that saw the pilot movie and then didn't like the changes that were made between the pilot movie and the pilot episodes of the series.
Well,
I mean, they did change a lot, like the music. Um,
yeah,
I do
that was
believe that.
Christopher Frankie's decision. I think a little portion
Well,
of that.
Stuart Copeland did some amazing music for the pilot movie.
Yeah,
I loved it, and then come up with a series, and I go, "Hey, where's? Oh, okay, it's different. We'll run with this. It's still the same story."
now
And
don't get me wrong. I love Claudia Christian as Ivanova, but I did kind of hate that they didn't keep the lieutenant commander from the original pilot. Interesting enough, she was the love interest of Daniel from Karate Kid 2 on the, I think it was Okinawa Island that they went to.
Yes, Island of Okinawa.
I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah,
But they weren't really there.
I know, but cute gal, and she turned out. But
She did make some cameos in Cobra Kai.
I don't know. Yeah, that's one series I've got yet to catch up on.
She.
They
I
actually
don't know if
went
it
to
was.
Japan this time.
I don't remember if it was season 1 or season 2 that she showed up.
Was not. I think it was season 3. Because season 1 and season 2 are on YouTube Red.
Yes,
There are red
Nicholas, I'm
settings.
excited for it too. And apparently, it has most of the still living original voice actors doing the parts to it.
Yeah, that they so many have gone.
Yeah, Jerry Dole, Richard Biggs, um, Andreas Kasoulis, who played Jakar, and
Jurassic. Peter
No, he's
Jurassic.
still alive. He's
Is
still
he?
alive. Yep, he's still alive. Claudia Christian's still alive. Bruce
Yeah.
Boxleitner's still alive. Mira Phelan is dead, unfortunately. And oh shit. And
Yeah.
Veer, Stephen First is dead. So yeah,
I've got,
and of course, guy that played Sinclair, he's dead.
yeah.
So that's what, 6 major actors.
Yeah.
Yes, Veer played Flounder. He also was in Up the Creek, which the best thing about Up the Creek is Cheap Trick's title song from the soundtrack.
Yeah.
He was also in one of the Richard Chamberlain Alan Quartermain movies as a Nazi.
And I forgot which movie it was, but it had the guy that played Jakar and David Suchet in it, and I got the two of those mixed up originally.
It's hard to mix up Perot and Jakar.
Yeah, but I didn't know him as Perot at the time. And he had his bald head in the middle with the hair on the side, so I didn't recognize that it was Perot.
This can happen.
Yeah.
I need to come up with this.
Already?
Yeah, we've been going at it an hour and 55 minutes.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut y'all off.
No. We needed the reminder, otherwise we'd have gone over into the other allotted.
That other guy's show.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
The one that doesn't know what rails are.
Yeah, and limits and propriety and things like that.
And Friday in green rooms. And
We made the green room look mild.
Oh, we didn't say anything that wasn't veiled in triple entendre.
I think there was
Thursday night.
quadruple.
Yeah,
Don,
there was definitely.
Get out of my head,
I think
Don.
we found your soulmate.
Oh, Mac of all trades.
Oh,
Sorry, Mac.
oh, that without the previous comment.
Oh yeah, well, let me go back. There you go. Let's do that. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to do
Do you
it.
think I can read that fast?
No, it's just two of us punching buttons at the same time. It's a problem.
Yeah. You're welcome anytime on Last Man Standing, Nicholas.
Mhm.
That would make it Nick at Night.
Yeah. It would also make Donna regret not being there.
I think we overworked Donna today on her little day trip up here or something.
You know, I forgot to ask Joe about his yard selling adventures.
He was
It's
probably
got something that
tired.
smell like cat piss.
He evidently was walking quite a bit, which is why he was worn out. So I would
And,
hazard a guess that he had a good time at the endless yard sale.
my neighborhood used to be pretty big into that because it's a big cul-de-sac neighborhood right off of 41. And
Maybe they sold all their crap.
well, the thing is, no. The people that show up in our neighborhood to go through this stuff
Mm-hmm.
are not the kind of people you want hanging out in your neighborhood.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Like- Parking in your grass and leaving trash in your yard. And one year we found a dirty diaper in our driveway where someone had pulled in and changed their kid's diaper and just left the diaper sitting on the concrete.
Oh,
And
good grief.
because of that sort of thing, fewer and fewer people in my neighborhood have been participating. And I think we literally had one out of about 72 houses in our neighborhood, one actually did something today. And it used to be almost half. So all you yard sale yahoos out there that are trashing people's yards and stuff like that, it's your own damn fault when this thing collapses. I'm warning you now. Be on your best behavior.
Mac of all trades had an interesting comment.
What was it?
He loves they love yard sales. Where else can you find an object that may be carry a generational curse?
I had to quit selling that stuff. They kept bringing it back.
Probably Keisha's house.
But I didn't want to see it again.
You want to really freak people out? I used to put some of my grandma's old dentures in the stuff where they'd have to like open a lot of drawers and boxes and stuff to actually find the dentures sitting in there just to freak them out.
Unwanted underclothing. Okay.
Good night, Gracie.
I've always wanted to
John, take us out of here. It's 2 hours.
All right. Guys, it's that time. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.